If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm
Good morning and welcome to the Darkmom Consortium for May the 6th, 2020, as I try to figure out what DT did to all my mic settings last night. Which is why I'm on a few minutes early. No, we're not starting quite yet. The Hellspawn is here today, so if you hear the little yip, 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 that is Hellspawn. And she said, "Good morning, everybody. I'm cute. Come here, sweetie pie." There we go. So my apologies for not being with you guys last night, but we had some family stuff going on that needed to take priority. And I thought we would continue with our stories today. I did not get to my endeavors at all yesterday, which gives you an idea of how crazy things were. Yes, they were crazy. But we'll get to them today. The nice thing is I got back into the game this morning and found out that all my traits had unset and all my bridge officers had left. Which makes for a lovely day. So, coming up on 7 now. We're going to be doing the episode Manhunt to start. But before we do anything else, let's see where we are for equipment. Things like that. I promised that we would update all this first thing today. And there's not a lot here. I think we must have gotten everybody done yesterday. Yeah, it looks like everybody's up to date on their stuff. And we do need to get to space dock or something to upgrade some of these things. Excuse me while I hiccup. And we have a tactical. Let's see. Oh, we have Kagan as our only officer there. Do we want to train Kagan on an extra skill? That is a good question. Maybe a while before we have another tactical officer. So let's go ahead and we'll teach him that one. Alrighty. Not that we can use it at the moment. But if that ever changes, let's look at doing some promotions here too. So, Beastib is blue, Chagrin's green, Kagan is my only purple officer, so I think we're going to stick with Kagan for a little bit, but let's go ahead and promote him. Alright, there we go. We've promoted him up to the level of lieutenant, and that's all we've got for that at the moment. Are we going to train him in a specialization? Probably not yet. Definitely can take some opinions on that one. And say good morning to everybody. And let's see if our Discord is working. A lot of stuff wasn't working from turning off everything and moving it last night. So I'm temporarily living downstairs for a couple of days at least, as my office has been usurped by another person. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, and I might be here all by myself, which is okay. I'm not heartbroken if I'm here by myself. Nope, I'm here. I'm the only one here, but that's okay. So let's get going with this morning. So as I said, we're going to do the episode Manhunt today. And let's see if we've accepted it.
not part of the normal chain of command. Previously, we didn't have any images or genetic samples from him, which is why he was so hard to identify. Now, we'll be on him the second he shows his face again. We already have. Moving on shuttle entered space above the Rura Pente penal colony. That system is restricted, and there was no traffic scheduled for today. You are authorized by the High Council to approach the system and determine if Drake is there. Bring him back alive.
All right. Ooh, we get our Jackal Mastiff from this. And we get some new stuff and a Harping torpedo launcher. So let's go ahead and accept that. I'm going to exit that. But before we go any further, let's look at purchasing some skills. We now have 8 space points and 2 ground points. So, weapon proficiency or endurance training or personal shields expert. I'm actually going to go for the weapons proficiency to start. It will decline me for the moment. Yes. And endurance training will go that way. And for our space, good question. Good question. Where do we go? Hull restoration, hull capacity, shield restoration, shield capacity, energy weapon training, and projectile weapon training. So let's start with some energy weapon training. Since we tend to do a lot of energy weapons. Do we want to go to advanced? Okay, so the upgrade from here to here is from 25 to 42.5, so that's a nice increase, 17.5. But here we're only getting a very slight increase. Projectile, that is a good question. Mines and torpedoes, but not cannons. Still, I do a fair amount of that, so let's go ahead and go with that one. Shield restoration, shield capacity. Hull capacity, let's go with the hull capacity. Take that again. Still have a few points to go. Interesting, I didn't hit purchase, no wonder. There we go. And back to space. So, hull restoration. We can always respec. Okay, let's see how we like that. I'm going to save 1 point for later. We'll use it when we get to Lieutenant Commander. Alright, so here we go, folks. Got some new toys here. Let's make sure we like everything we've got set up in our stations. We've added a grenade. And it's not like we've got a lot of choices here. We've got what we've got up. Let's see what Beastep has got. She's got emergency power. Can we promote her? That's a good question. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch out Chagrin and Beastep. Put Beastep up here, and we'll put Chagrin down there. Good. Okay. And does Thrak have any other skills? No, we just have Tractor Beam. We definitely need to stop in at Kronos and get some skills. Let's see what we've got, though, for assets. No EC. We're not doing any buying. We've got a little bit of dilithium. We need to go get ourselves some EC, so definitely going to make a trip by. Yes. And the hull spawn is trying to keep me from playing, so just bear with me today. Alright, so what do we need to do? We need to go to Rura Pente. And I hope you don't mind a long and very tedious ride over there. Can we transwarp? Oh yeah, we can transwarp. Let's do that. We're going to transwarp. Begin Manhunt. You dare to speak to the representatives of the High Council this way? This is Kagan, officer of the IKS Yatok, and we will do as we wish in Jen.
My opponent, Kalekader. I am honored to meet you. What you represent of the High Council seek at Rura Pente?
We seek a Federation fugitive.
There are no Federation corps on Rura Pente. Are you aware enemies of the Empire should be killed, not bayonet caught by infants?
You would do well to check your security logs. We have tracked the Federation spy to this system. He is here, hiding like a nook under your nose.
Our security logs are checked every quarter hour as per regulations. There have been no transfers in or out of the colony within the last day. Only 2 ships have entered the system today. Yours at a Klingon shuttle. Shuttle left the system hours ago. You are still here.
You incompetent Toba. The fugitive has deceived you. There are still prisoners in the prison, I hope, or have they all walked away while you weren't looking?
Our logs clearly indicate the shuttle left the system hours ago. There have been no transfers. All prisoners in this colony are either accounted for or dead. Your trail has gone cold.
You're mistaken. We're beaming down. Ready to beam down on your command, sir. There is a magnetic field covering the entire penal colony to prevent prisoners from escaping via transporter. We'll have to beam down to the outskirts of the magnetic field and walk to the entrance. And I'm wearing a skirt on Rura Pente. I have business with the warden.
You may have crossed the magnetic, but your visit is unannounced, and you will follow protocol. No one can be wanted without this visit. I will escort you to that point.
Lead on, guard. Well, come on.
Your presence here is unnecessary. The only Federation citizens of Rura Pente are frozen into the ice. But let me dissuade you from your manhunt.
Order the guards to search.
My guards will stay where they are. There was a breach, it would have tripped the alarm. The security system is quite advanced. These are prisoners. Please examine the security system for yourself. Refuse to accept the word of the prison warden.
Drake is here. We will find him. Your incompetence will speak for itself. Grant access to prisoner area. Well, that didn't seem terribly complex. Ah, that way. Where's the human? Where's the human? Do I look like a human? Where's the human? Don't involve me. Where's the human? Please let me go. Where's the human? My life is out of balance. Where's the human? Why are you bothering me? Now we have to find Kimtar. Why are you following me?
None of these prisoners will help you. They can sense danger far better than you can. And they know the risks of getting involved in a fight that's not theirs.
How do you know that?
Because I'm not a Batak like the Warden and his cousin Rodek. Have you asked yourself, why would a human come to Rura Pente?
He's after something. Or someone.
The human is here to extract a prisoner. There are no other alternatives. If he was coming to kill someone, then he's a problem. All he needed to do was wait. Everyone sent to this hole dies. Most tend to
You seem well informed for a prisoner.
Are you questioning my honor? If you think you're safe because you hold a weapon, you're mistaken. The only thing standing between you and a cold grave is my patience.
Bold words for a prisoner.
Someday I'll teach you a lesson for testing my resolve. The human is here. This is a complicated situation. You must do exactly as I say. We are surrounded by enemies. You will need my help to survive.
Why should I trust a criminal?
The only crime I've committed is thinking there could be peace between the great houses. And all you need to know is that I'm a Klingon warrior with the information you need.
Show me where he is. The worm is over by the mine entrance.
There you are. I was wondering if I'd lost you.
You're a fool to come here.
Don't try to play coy with us. You have the subterfuge skills of a wounded tar. Did you think no one here would notice you were a prisoner? Or that no one would notice when you tampered with the air exchange?
What are you after, Drake?
I see you found a new friend. Look, if I had the time to explain, I would. I'm on a tight schedule, and you took your time getting here. If you want to know what's really going on, you'll have to ask your new friends. I need to be done.
What? Stop. We're going to stop for 1 second. Let's check for our accolades really quickly. Accolades. You've successfully quelled a prison riot. So, there is an optional back here, and we're going to go do it. We can quell the unarmed or unarmed prisoners. It's hard to tell which ones are armed and which ones are unarmed. Clearly that's an armed one. I know this map. Okay, gotta go back and finish up those unarmed prisoners. Since when we get into that corridor, that seems to be the armed prisoners. Yeah, there's still a few in here. Okay, let's go back and get the other ones now. All right, prison riot. Good morning, everybody out there. See, we've got a few more people who've joined us. We're doing Manhunt at the moment, on this nice variation of a map from Emancipation. Hurry, we have to stop him. That's...
Before you can reach the edge of the magnetic shield, I promise that I'll explain everything once we track him down.
We'll exit to the surface. Let's see if there's any more accolades in here. Nope, just prison riot. That's the only one.
The human
He has a shuttle.
In that case, we don't have any time to waste. It will be difficult to track his movements in this flurry.
We can use the jackal to track him. Send the jackal after Drake. Get him, boy.
Those were wild jackals. Keep a lookout for more.
Oh, poor baby. How can they survive on the surface?
They must feed on the corpses of dead prisoners.
That would not be a stable ecology. Got news for you. Yes, dear.
I'm a diplomat. My peaceful words were called treason.
Kimtar, you said you would explain why you were thrown into Rura Pente. How can there be peace? We are at war.
You clearly never read the words I cast before. Now let me ask you a question. How can we win a war if we can't stop fighting one another?
Honor must be upheld.
The words of a warrior. Still, killing one another for honor blinds us to greater threats. There he is.
Impressive. Your determination is commendable.
You can't escape, Drake.
There's more at stake here than dealing with a lone human on a mission of mercy. In fact, our intelligence says you have very little time left to act.
What are you talking about?
Our friend here discovered that one of the great Nazis is plotting against the Empire. He's correct, but his curiosity. Now you and Alexander, I'm sorry. We'll both have a chance for it. Kim, your father still has friends in the Federation. They believe he's in great danger. I recommend a trip to the Boar system. There you'll find out just how big of a mess you're in. And find the proof that Worf will want.
Kimtar, how do you know this human?
I don't. He and I have never met, but as I told you, the story is complicated. What you need to know is that he speaks the truth. There is a plot against the Empire, and it is not the Federation's doing. Our true enemies are closer than we realize. If we want to protect our people, we must go to the Boar system and see what is there.
Why should I trust either of you?
I don't care if you trust me. Kimtar, tell your father that obligations have been met. Only you can decide how you'll deal with the greater threat.
What is this greater threat?
The only threat you should be worried about is me.
Brodek, you followed us?
You're a miserable Karuk. Not only have you built a penal colony for small, but you've meddled in the affairs of the House of Lord. I don't care if Kimtar is innocent. We were paid a great deal of ransom to keep this piece of backlog locked up. He's not leaving here, and neither are you.
You're corrupt for shock.
If Brodek cooperates, we can expect more guards soon. If that should beam up as soon as possible to discuss what's happened.
Yatok, you read me? This is Bisteb of the IKS Yatok. We read you, sir. What are your orders? We're ready for transport. Beam us up. Oops, missed that one. Sir, we will bring the ship down to the surface to pick you up. Excuse me. Sir, we will bring the ship down to the surface to pick you up. Excellent idea. Make it quick. We might need more warriors.
If we head for higher ground, it will be easier for your ship to locate us.
Agreed.
There is a bluff to the southeast. We must hurry before the warden and his men catch up to us.
Drake said we should go to the Vor system. What would he possibly find there?
Whatever is there is a threat to the Klingon Empire. We must find evidence to show the Council.
We're cloaked in approaching. Excuse me. We're cloaked in approaching your location.
Look up ahead. The warden and the guards are approaching. You dishonorable dog! When the High Council hears what Jemcops representatives have done here today, they will order your immediate execution.
How much were you paid to hold an innocent man?
Enough was warm long after your death. We pay whether Qatar lives or dies. So, before I kill you, I'll order you a coward.
Hi, Schmertzlin. How are you? I think you're forgetting something. Sorry, we're doing dialogue here. My starship, Bisteb, now! Ha 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 ha. That'll teach those dogs to threaten the captain of the IKS Yatok. We are ready to bring you aboard as soon as you give the signal, sir. Well done, Bisteb. Pick us up. Okay, we're done with that section. So how are you today?
Oh, I am pretty well.
Good
How
to-
about you?
I'm hanging in there. Been a busy day or so.
If everything went right, I should be louder than the last time.
Your volume is excellent as far as I can tell. People out there in Twitchland, how does he sound? Well, there's 8 people there, but nobody's in chat, so who knows?
I had to maybe break a little bit through the Windows layers.
Yes. There's a few Windows settings that completely muck up your volumes, so.
Slightly low.
Actually, it sounds fine here.
Okay, maybe I'm just talking a little bit less loud than usual.
It could be. All right, so.
Finally got you. I finally got you.
Okay.
All the time I'm just like, no, I missed by 2 minutes. Damn it.
Well, I shifted the time from 6 to 7 to 8 my time. 7 a.m. start and 8 p.m. close because my work is at 9 a.m. That gives me a chance to, between 8 and 9, that's enough time to grab a cup of coffee and drive out there. It's about an hour away now. We'll decline that. I'm going to switch out of this tune, everybody, and switch back to my other accounts. So let me blank my screen out for just a moment. Let's see. I'm going to put the intro video on here so I can change without showing everybody my passwords.
If I am sad
I know. I'm such a bad person. Wait, what? Have you indeed?
Actually able to determine a password by the sound the keyboard made.
Wow, that's actually scary.
Yeah, that is very scary. I read that and it was just like, okay.
I mean, all my keys to me sound the same. Here, let me just. How can they define that? I'm curious.
Because the keys have different wear. So if you have
Oh
an older
my
keyboard,
gosh, which
for
I
example,
do.
the key, which is often used, will sound over the time a little bit differently
Wow.
than, for example, the Z or the Q,
Mm-hmm.
because those are just keystrokes that aren't used as often. And well, if you can determine the most popular used keystrokes in a password and you know around where they are, well, then you can just easily try to find
Wow.
a password for it.
Wow.
But that said, it is very, very difficult to do. And in the paper I read, they also said it is doable in 1,000 cases, if best.
Yeah.
So they had very specific setup with a very, very sensitive microphone.
You'd have to make.
It's not very easy.
It would have to be worth it to put that kind of effort into it.
Yeah, it definitely would be.
So I had an interesting experience at work yesterday. I was checking my email on my phone, and I had gotten an alert from my credit card company saying that somebody was using my card fraudulently, which is kind of weird because normally when that pops up, they call me. They don't send me an email. And on your phone, you can't see where that message is coming from.
Ah,
So, is this somebody phishing? Is this legitimate? What's going on here? So it's very odd. And I couldn't tell from there because we're not allowed to log into our personal computers.
yeah. Very, very easy to do. Just call your the place where you have your credit card at.
Well, you would think that's the solution. That's the problem. You can't do that. Half of the call centers are shut down because of COVID, so the most you can get is if it's not an absolute emergency, you have to go in through the computer and try and check it from there. Okay, I can't do that from work. But I was able to pull up my last 5 transactions on my credit cards that were allegedly being hacked, and because I haven't used them since this whole thing began. And they were reading off what's been used on it, and it was basically just my last payment. So I'm thinking, okay, somebody's phishing for information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If that happens, these companies will definitely call you.
Yes, they
And,
will.
Another thing they will also never ever do is ask you for any personal information.
Yeah, that's the next thing, yes.
What they will rather do is they will ask you because they can also not know if you're the legit person on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So what they will do is ask you to come into one of their centers to get this thing cleared up.
Well,
So if in any mails you find that they are asking for any personal information, just never ever give it to anyone.
well, the thing I find that a lot of people do is they'll click on the, yes, these transactions are okay, no, these transactions aren't. Okay, so far it sounds okay, because there's a phone app that lets you do that. But a moment later, you get into that, and it will then ask you to log into your system through that, and that's where they get your passwords. So yeah, it's easier to try and get in touch with them, and if there really is a hacking issue, I don't know what they do about it, but I'm sure we can call it up as the emergency, because at least in Illinois, you're liable for $50, and then the credit card company's liable after that.
So usually just ignore these mails.
Yes.
Because it is very, very difficult to actually get anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the servers are usually rented or the people don't know where the actual servers are located at.
Oh, yes.
Because it is actually not very easy sometimes to locate these, because they are protected behind a lot of proxy servers and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
And you cannot usually find them. I had a little bit of reading in that regard, because I also wanted to see how easy it was to actually check where certain servers are standing and whatnot. And it's really hard actually to find where they are.
It
located
is.
at. Especially if you are hitting a proxy. So
Mhm.
it's just a sort of gateway that just reroutes the connection. And usually your efforts will stop at that proxy. So, for example, the actual server stands in Germany, but the proxy is located in the USA. So you're thinking, okay, the server is located in the USA, where it is actually not.
Yes.
So it is very, very difficult to actually get behind that. And, well, they are just sending out these kinds of mails through just some weird mail addresses.
Yes, that's usually my clue that it's fake. It doesn't address you by name, and the email address isn't like in the case of chase.com or chasesecurity.com. It's, Sarah's response email, or, just something that's obviously not Chase, but people still fall for it.
Yeah. That is actually a little fun thing, and that is, for example, I don't want to ruin these services for anyone, but for example, with GMX, or with web, I usually get spam emails, and the very fun thing is I put my name.
Mm-hmm.
You have the possibility to put your name for that email account. So
Yeah.
that theoretically people can look, oh, that's that guy. But I did not put my name. I put my father's name.
Oh, okay, that makes
So
sense.
every time I get a mail, and there is the name of my father, the very first line, I instantly know it's spam.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Because obviously, if it was legit, people would actually use my legit name, not the name I put in that email address.
My dad used to do something similar. He would sign things, his middle initials were HA, and every now and then, when he wasn't sure something was legit, he would put in HB or HC, and one, he'd know it wasn't legitimate, and two, he knew where it had started from. So he was able to track how people were selling his email addresses, his address and email addresses from different sources. This is what happens when you retire and you don't have anything else to do, and you're just learning the joys of the internet.
Yeah. Well, I have the very good thing that my father is also a security consultant at his company for cyber security.
Oh, definitely, he knows what he's doing then.
Yeah, and so right when I got the first time on my PC, he was directly, before I even was allowed to use any PC at home, I had to go through a 15-minute long talk with him about what to not do when going online. And he always said, you do not do that if you do not know how to counteract it. If you know how to counteract it or to go around it or whatsoever, then do your worst. But please don't come to me if you fail.
Well, that's a little harsh, but
Really
effective.
But so when there was something that I could not see, he would still help me out and just say, okay, now you know what to not do. So,
Yes.
now you know better for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, I will say, well, my parents certainly had no clue about cybersecurity because my mother passed away in 2001 when computers were still really primitive, and my dad passed away in 2013? Yeah, 2012 or 2013. And he was becoming somewhat proficient, but a lot of things just totally eluded him, so he had us to help him out, but for the rest of life things, he's good about not letting us be too stupid, but letting us make enough mistakes to learn from it. Drawing that fine line between stupid and really stupid.
My now past grandpa was actually also using online banking for most of his transactions, and he was so paranoid that he actually put in place his own security protocols
Really?
that were more harsh than those of my father.
Wow. Well, paranoia isn't always unjustified.
Yeah, but he also wanted to make sure that they were safe. Because he didn't
Absolutely.
want to have anything like that.
Can't blame him. I'm always surprised by the number of people who get caught up by various scams because they just don't know enough. See, WC says, we had our cards skimmed a few years ago. However, with two cards hit between two of us, we could use our accounts to track down the problems to two shops. Hopefully they managed to find the person who did it. I had my cards skimmed through my purse when I went out to a very nice restaurant one night. And I carried my purse with me, so the guy must have been skimming them. It was, there was a part of it which was a buffet where you go up and get your own salads. And I'm sure this guy was just walking through there skimming cards because expensive restaurants, people had fairly high credit limits.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he got away with quite a bit before people started checking it out.
Yeah.
So
Well, it is actually possible because most of the credit cards nowadays actually have this interesting feature that you can just put it on a scanner instead of putting it in a scanner.
yes.
That is actually a feature I absolutely hate, and I try to avoid using it or getting my card near anything, because it is actually possible with a little device that is not bigger than your usual smartphone
Mm-hmm.
to just go along a purse, and if it can actually pick up that signal, it has all the card information. So the only thing left that is needed is the actual PIN.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the thing that really got me worried, and I'm still wondering why they're using that feature, because it has such a huge security risk actually that I am personally nowhere near comfortable with that.
I don't blame you.
Actually, also keeping my card in a little box that actually shuts it away from any signals that come from outside.
Yes. There's a company that makes interesting wallets that are, RFID proof, so that you can't read them through the wallet. But they're designed for men, not women, so I carry a man's wallet rather than a woman's, but I'm surprised they don't do it for women. I mean, not women's wallets. Of course, women carry too much. Sorry, ladies, but we carry too much crap in our wallets and purses and stuff. Seriously, do you really need to take all that with you when you go out? No. No, you do not.
It is always good to be prepared. I always have a multi-tool on an extra bag on me, which I keep around my waist.
Well, where I work now, you can't bring in anything like that because it's part of the county courts. Our building is not what I do. What I do has nothing to do with the courts. I just crunch numbers. But so you get scanned and you go in there and you're allowed to take your keys, but anything like a multi-tool, little pocket knife, anything like that is forbidden. So all that has to go right back out to the car. Unlike the airports, they don't take it away from you or make you mail it home, but I'm thinking, I'm just going in there to go into accounting. I'm not going to do anything. I'm boring.
Well, and then there are things like little polymer knives that can actually be sharpened
Oh, yes.
way better, and you can hide them in the format of a credit card.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
There are little foldable knives that you can just fold out, and the original, it just has the same size as a credit card. Then you can fold it out to have a sustainable knife, and those things are sharp, and they aren't detected by metal detectors because they're poorly plastic.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Airports actually also have quite a big problem.
I would imagine.
Scanning those.
airports always surprised me because, when they were going through the heyday of searching everybody right after 9/11, they didn't want me to go through security because I had a brooch with a pin on it, jewelry. So it's got a little tiny pin, and I'm thinking I'm going to use my pin to kill somebody. But I had a makeup mirror in my bag. It would be very easy to break the glass makeup mirror and have a giant shard of razor sharp glass. That didn't get them. That didn't bother them in the least, even when I pointed it out.
Well,
So-
the one time, because I'm mainly wearing black,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite color, and I'm just kind of a goth type, whatever you want to call it. So I stand out. And the one time we were flying, I was flying with a few of my courses back when I was at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
We flew to Italy, and so the first thing I got pulled out because people were thinking, well, he's wearing black, he's flying to Italy, he can't be serious. So they checked me, a
Yes.
full body check, and
Ooh.
I asked them, what are you looking for? Can I help you in any way? I mean, sure, I take this stuff off, I have no problem with you checking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have nothing with me. I'm a 2-meter teddy bear. My God. Okay, I also knew they can't know me, so
Right.
I have no problem with it. But the answer surprised me. They checked me for explosives,
Wow.
and that utterly surprised me. And I was just like, well, okay. Do you want to get an explosive dog here, or why do you think I could, in any possible shape, carry such things with me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a student. Dear God. Yeah,
Well,
but you look suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just said, okay, search me wherever and how much you want.
Yeah.
I was about to say, well, if you want to get a proctologist to check my insides, then please go on. But I just thought to myself, nah, better not say that.
No,
otherwise
no.
get
They might.
ideas.
Yeah, they might do it. I used to fly to Las Vegas quite often because I was working on the West Coast and I needed to be able to fly to different cities on very little notice, sometimes like on a day's notice. But that, of course, is always a security thing. If you take a flight on very little notice, they get very, very concerned. So I would get to Las Vegas with plenty of time, and they'd pull me out of the line and do the whole security thing, check my bags, and, why did you make the last minute booking? Not my job. It's my job. I have to go do this stuff. And get checked on the way back. And, it's very annoying. There's nothing you can do. That's my job, but still.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, I can understand that, especially after everything that has happened, and that is a major security risk. I mean, you're way up in the air, and
Yeah.
you can't do anything. And if something blows up, then oh boy. But I mean, it's something like that. It should be understandable.
It's understandable. It's just so annoying. Yeah, and then the last couple of times I've been flying hasn't been an issue at all. All right, so the question is, are there any Federation hangar pets that do disruptor damage?
Are there any what?
Federation hangar pets that do disruptor damage.
There are Klingon. There's 1 second. I just forgot the name.
And I'm seeing Phaser and AP, but I'm not seeing Federation hangar pets that do disruptor damage.
Very good question.
Mm-hmm.
Those are phaser.
J.W. Russ says the Cardassian frigates. I'm trying to think.
Disruptor?
Apparently. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything in the notes.
Well, Well, the Breen are using. Hold on. Yes, actually yes. They even use the spiral wave.
Which ones? The brain?
The Jukava frigates that you can get from the Cardassian Damar class Intel Science Dreadnought and the Cardassian Gaemor class.
Okay.
Also Ilachi shuttles and frigates,
Mm-hmm.
of course, from Ilachi ships. What else? Mining lasers, Jesus Christ. Oh, Krenim Heavy Raiders.
So there's
But
quite a
you
few.
will need the Anorax for that one.
Amazingly, I have an Anorax.
Yeah, those pets have also deal disruptive damage.
So there's the Alachi frigates. Which other ones were there?
The Cardassian that are the Jukava frigates.
And what was the last one you just mentioned? From the Anorax?
Those are the Krenim Heavy Raiders.
Oh, I have one of those, yes. Boy, I can't spell today.
Oh, I know that one. And I was listening to myself because of course I had to review the video where I showed you the mega well.
Yes. Speaking of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question for you because it's just the image of everything and it's kind of hard to see it even when I blow it up. So it looks like it's the Bajoran set, correct? That you're using? For the space set?
I'm not using any Bajoran.
It's very hard to see what it is on the image, that's why. And of course you can't just click on it.
I can just give you a full list of the items.
Oh, that'd be awesome if you could do that, yes.
Yeah,
Since
I can
I'm
just
building my ship here.
log in and
Okay.
just write you the.
Some of the things I can see, some of the things I can't see.
Yeah, that's no problem.
And of course, the things I can see are like the red matter and the devices. Those things I can see easily enough, but that's not what's making the mega well the mega well.
Well, they can help actually if you want a little bit more boost to auxiliary, or if you have to move a little bit faster. It's always good to have a little bit of a backup.
Mm-hmm. Always.
But
Extra death.
I just write you a the quick list of items. In
Thank you.
In the build room. And
Thank you.
just tag you again.
Okay.
So yeah, I was reviewing that, and oh my god, I was hoping I would be a little bit better in English than I thought I was. But
You're-
oh my god, I sound so badly German.
No, your English is excellent. Bear in mind, I worked with German companies for, oh my god, 10 out of the last 15 years, so you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But then again, my German is so bad. So bad. And of course now I've decided to start studying Danish so I can go bug pie. And even the computer just looks at me going, oh, come on, really? That is not Danish. That is, we don't know what you're speaking. It's not Danish.
Yeah, I tried to learn specific different languages, and I just failed.
It's not the right part of my brain. You have to take a foreign language as part of college here. I didn't have to do it for high school, but I had to do it for college. And I chose to study American Sign Language because it uses a different part of your brain. It's not a different language, it's a different symbology. So very much oriented. If you're good in math and somewhat artistic, you can do sign language.
Yeah,
If
a buddy of mine is learning sign language, and I'm actually also thinking about doing a course or two.
and there's so many
Because it's
variations.
very interesting, and
It
that would
is.
be also a thing well, it's always good to be prepared in that sense, if you, for example, have to talk to someone, and if that person is unfortunately deaf,
Yes.
then what are you doing? I mean, you could just pull out a pen and paper and just write on it, and he would write it on that. But it would be better if you actually could communicate, even if it's just the most basic communication, but it would still be communication.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's why that's that I also love English, because English is such a versatile language, pretty much spoken all around the world.
Yes. Yes.
So if you have a problem, if you're somewhere and you don't know where you are, it's most of the times not that difficult to find someone who can speak English.
Yes. There's a few exceptions. I had a coworker who was sent to China for 3 weeks. Yeah, and he's 6'4", blonde, and every place he went, everyone just stared at him. And then the next time, after they got a little more comfortable with him, everybody wanted to take their picture with him. Because, here's this massively big American blonde who doesn't speak a word of Chinese, and 90% of the people who lived there didn't speak any English. All the engineers he was working with, of course, spoke English. And then they wanted him to be the permanent liaison between our division in the U.S. and the division in China. And he said, no, not going to happen. Felt like an outsider the whole time he was there, never got comfortable.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
Oh, yes. It's absolutely horrible. But he said it was a very interesting learning experience, and no thank you, I'm done. And speaking of done, I do have to get ready to log off here. I know we only did one episode today. We will be back to do another episode tomorrow and Friday. And I don't know about Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to go down and visit my son because they're coming off of lockdown. So it's his birthday and Mother's Day this weekend, so I thought we'd go hang out, even though no restaurants are open yet for going in. So, not quite birthday, Mother's Day that I had anticipated for this year.
Well, but still something, eh?
It is something,
That's
yes.
the important part.
Yeah, I haven't been down to see him for over 2 months, and I usually go down there every few weeks. And in a big surprise, my husband decided that I should stay in a hotel instead of staying in his apartment, because he has a small apartment and he lives there with a friend, so I usually sleep on the couch in the living room.
Oh,
And he said, for Mother's Day, I will get you a hotel room. So I actually get a real bed. Woohoo!
oh,
Yes, and what'll probably wind up happening is he and friend will come over to the hotel and we'll spend the evening playing board games or Warhammer or something like that. I love.
great.
Yeah, it is. He works for the company that does Warhammer, so we do a lot of Warhammer stuff. I know, it's such a weird hobby for for an adult woman.
Well, I have no problem with that.
Oh, good. Most people just kind of look at me and go, oh, Warhammer. Interesting. Mom is odd.
Well, I'm the weird guy doing Borg impressions, so.
Hey, I like your Borg impressions. You do Borg. DT does Ferengi. We are set. We got to get a few more in there. And we'll be set. We'll have... Yes. Oh, like I said, we're putting together some commercials to run with this show. Not commercials, but fun commercials. It'd be good to have a Borg one as well as a Ferengi. Our first one's Ferengi. We need to get that done, though. This weekend. No, next week. I'll get those done next week. All right, I'm going to log out of this for the show, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. I will still be on Discord for a little bit if anybody wants to chat. So everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.